Hey everybody, I'm Don Della Snooch. You'll see me on the Escape Pod normally, but this is going to be a new show. We're going to call this show "Stranger Things Has Happened" because Stranger Things has happened.
Yeah.
We're 3 seasons in. We just got season 4, and we were told that season 5 will wrap up the story.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get a beginning and an end to this. I have never seen Stranger Things, as hasn't my guest today, Kelly, Lunar Girl from Red 5 Network. She's the queen of all the blue wrenches.
Oh, thank you.
Um, like I said, we've never seen Stranger Things. So this is going to be a journey all the way through to season 5 of Stranger Things, where we're going to watch it one episode at a time. We're going to talk about it one episode at a time, probably somewhere near once a week, as long as time allows. This is kind of a side project, so there may be some hiccups in scheduling, but it's going to be recorded and live at whatever times are convenient to record this, this is not the regular show. The regular show is the one that I do with my friends Brady Big Lovin' and Chris Dragon Buddy, where we talk about all things geek, the Escape Pod. You can always catch that on Wednesday nights, 7:05 Eastern, on YouTube at bio.link bio.link / ATSW, the Escape Pod.
Almost. It's bio.link /
Yes.
ATSW, the Escape
See,
Pod.
this is why you're in charge.
Thank you. I am the keeper of the knowledge.
But this is intended to be a fun ride. I'm not a movie critic. That's not what we're here for. I'm just a new fan committed to going on a journey with you. So if you are an old school Stranger Things fan, and you want to kind of relive the first moments of watching this stuff again, this is the spot. If you've never seen the show and you want to play along in the home game and watch it every week with us, man, that's the way to do it. So,
I just want to mention, for my own selfish reasons, please no spoilers. I know almost everybody in the world. I thought I was the only one who's never seen it before, but don't tell us what happened on last week's episode.
100%. This is
thank you.
We're going on this journey from the beginning, so let's not talk about what happens later. This show has its own bio link. bio.link / strangerthhpod. Stranger Things Has Happened pod. THH. So from that, you can get to the YouTube, and you can get to Instagram and Twitter, and there'll be more links to follow as I build that out. This show next time will appear on its own YouTube stream. And that YouTube stream is going to be a bunch of gobbledygook numbers, or you will be able to look it up. Stranger Things Has Happened. It will take you to the page. It already exists. Or you can go to the bio.link site, and you can hit that subscribe bell now. So when it goes live next time, you will get a notification. So bing bong, ding the bell.
Bing bong.
Bing bong, ding the bell. Ding dong, bing the bell. All right, that's a whole nother joke. Okay, so are you ready to talk about Stranger Things?
I am, but you actually have a lot of friends in the chat. I was wondering if you wanted to shout them out, or if you want me to shout them out for you, or
why don't you go ahead?
Want them to shout at us?
I'm not sure how much of that I'm gonna do, as much as I would like to field conversation points out of the chat.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we can shout out the chat too. That's not gonna hurt nothing. But if we end up getting a chat run on some of these shows, like, it could be a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. But for your very first premiere episode, you've got your 2 other escape pros in there, Brady Big Lovin' and Dragon Buddy in the chat. And we also have General Shinobi, aka Madame Chantal, who's brand new Scarif After Dark premiered last Saturday. She'll be on next on July 30th.
Yeah.
And we have Isaac Sipe.
Oh, what's up, Isaac?
Our family. Isaac, our family's in the chat.
Nice. Another thing, this show is going to be not safe for work. You know, it's a show about an adult themed show. So, you know, we're not going to be PG here talking about an adult themed show. So
thank God.
Let's jump into it. The whole idea for this show is to keep it under like maybe 25 minutes. You know, there's no reason we should be talking for a half an hour about a show that's only an hour long.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the show starts out kind of at a government facility, and we get kind of like a scene that's real similar to Aliens. When the lights are flickering, you know, things are changing really fast. Dude is obviously super fucking scared.
Slap at that elevator button, you know, like
right. Why isn't it closing?
And finally gets in the elevator.
And then the misdirect comes from above.
Like,
it was a good tension building like horror scene. Like I dug it.
I dug it too. I mean, it grabbed me in because if for anything else, I want to see what got that guy. So
right, for sure. The next scene is the kids are all sitting around playing D&D. So there's tons of familiar. If you're a D&D player, like we are, there's tons of familiar verbiage. You know, the sounds of dice hitting tables and, you know, the storytelling aspect of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a nice segue real quick. Talk about you guys' new show.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There is a new show. It is officially a new Red 5 podcast. It is called the Red 5 Tavern, where Dungeon Master Brad, also the co-host of Scarif, likes to play with lives. So every single week you're going to see 6 players. Not necessarily Red 5. We have 2 people in the Red 5 family coming on next Friday. And catch it every Friday night at 10 Eastern PM on the Red 5 Tavern on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, way cool.
Yeah.
I just listened to that episode. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
I laughed so much. Like I enjoy watching Critical Role on YouTube.
Right.
And I found this absolutely just as funny.
Thank you. I was a guest last night, so I was definitely happy to get back into it.
Right. The vibe is good. The comedy is there. The solid D&D play, people learning, people that know. It's good stuff.
That was the other thing that I really liked about it. There were some of us who have played multiple times before, and then there were others that played for their very first time, and it was definitely fun. You know, just learning together, very laid back setting. So
I can't wait until the new girls get a good enough feel for the game that they start playing characters.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
Definitely.
You know, we meet our protagonists in this scene, Dustin, Mike, and Lucas, and their friend Will, who becomes quite the issue later on.
Yes. And right from the get-go, you could kind of tell their personalities. You know, there's the kid. I think it was Mike. And he's from that nuclear family with the mom and the dad and the big sister. And, you know, they're all dressed nicely. They all sit down to dinner together. But you can tell there's
completely dysfunctional.
Yeah, you could tell that there's stuff wrong. Like, dad seems like a weenie. Sister wants popularity. Mike just wants to be seen for who he is. And mom, who's just trying to keep the whole family together with the little kid on her hip. And, you know, So that was interesting. And the one that stood out though was Will, because they lost the die. They found the die. They happened to roll something that was under and would not have defeated the monster.
Right.
And when they found the die, they're like, "Oh, don't tell anybody, it didn't exist,"
Right.
But Will was the last one to leave, and Will went and told Mike, we rolled a 7.
Right. The
So
super honest character. He's
super
a
honest.
lawful good.
Yeah, that he's the responsible one just by that one line alone.
You know what? Saying that, I wonder, and we've got a lot of show to explore it. I wonder if all 4 of these boys are polar different on the D&D personality scale. Was it?
Oh, yeah.
What's that called?
I don't know, but I know.
I don't remember, but there's a 9-panel chart. Yeah. So if Will is lawful good, then I mean, are we going to have like some chaotic neutral going on? And I bet every one of these characters is written to be one of those.
Yeah,
one of those 9 characteristics.
That would be cool. That'd be cool. I like it.
So the night that Will Byler's disappears on his way home, he goes on, what appears to be a road that goes to that facility must be a shortcut to where he lives.
Yeah.
And something in the woods, knocks him off his bike. Well, really, he falls off his bike, but it's because something is in the woods,
Yeah. Which, of course, I'm watching it, and I'm like, why the hell are you running into the woods? That's the last place you want to go.
Right. Let's go hide behind this shed with all the chainsaws.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I didn't quite understand that. But, it's not my story to tell. It was very predictable, but
I think
it's a PG-13 show, and
but it was supposed to feel predictable, movies, so. I think that's what they were going for.
They're wondering about that.
There's a lot of what I think are story tropes.
Yeah.
That at least at the beginning of this show, it's playing off of those on purpose.
It was Brady's mom.
It's Brady's mom. Well, she's got it going on. That's how the song goes. Brady, can't you see? Anyway. So after that, we get like a cut to like our introduction to Sheriff Jim Hopper. There's another show, movie or something where the cop's name is Hooper, isn't it?
I think you're right.
Is it Jaws? Is Hooper from Jaws?
No, Quinn is from Jaws.
Yeah, but there's also other characters in that show.
Guy, yeah. I don't remember.
I think that's why that's in my head.
Movie a couple days ago.
Somebody in the chat will be like, "You're a moron," which is true. It's very true.
No, I just don't remember every single detail about movies, but okay. But yeah, like shower beer.
Right. Smoking on the back porch with his pants wide open.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, I hate being the sheriff of this fucking town.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hooper was a biologist.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
cool.
you, DB. Your best friend is in the chat.
Hey, Jen. I'll be that somebody.
Yeah.
She's good for that. You're an idiot. Damn it. You're right. Yeah, I thought they set Sheriff Hopper up as being a really interesting dynamic. There's a lot of stuff going on with this dude.
Yeah, the typical 80s smoking in public buildings. I mean, like, millennials, yes, everybody used to smoke in public buildings, even hospitals, it just didn't matter.
Right.
The stereotypical cops with donuts and coffee in the morning. Don't bother me. I'm eating my donut, drinking my coffee.
Oh, I'd love that. He said something to the effect of like mornings are for reflecting or something.
Yes.
I was like,
And
I know people that are like that. Like, you can't talk to me for a while until
mhm,
all this like coffee and shit settled in.
mhm,
But
mhm.
doesn't he start the day like having a beer?
Yes,
Like,
beer
what's
and
the coffee
cigarettes.
for at that point?
He even brushed his teeth and rinsed his mouth out with the beer.
Yeah, with like Schlitz, so it wasn't even good
It
beer.
wasn't even good beer. It was really bad 80s beer.
Oh, and it probably had the little foil tear off lid.
Yeah, remember those?
Yeah, dude, that's serious. That
And
seems that reminds me of of alcoholism. Just that.
yes. And his guys even said, you look like shit today, like so,
Yeah,
so you figure he's probably an alcoholic who was in love at one point in time and possibly had a wife, maybe had kids, but whatever the case, like everything good walked out of his life and he's an alkie.
yeah.
So
Well, that happens.
yeah. So we'll see if he cleans himself up down the road. Yeah, so he walks into his office after telling his secretary, like, don't bother me. And there sits like what I told Chris was that looks like an older Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
DB's like,
it
because it
is.
is. I'm like, oh, well, that explains it.
Oh, Chantel is hollering out David Harbour being the cop. She apparently thinks that he's warm and sweaty.
Hopper? He didn't look warm and sweaty. He looked kind
No,
of
like I
moody and boring.
she's talking about a warmth in her Australian region.
I did not um I
You don't concur?
I don't concur at this point in time because I saw what looked like a hairy alcoholic with moobs. So I
He
don't
did
concur at this
have
point in time.
he was not in his best shape in this, but he was thinner than he was in Black Widow, I noticed.
Oh, I didn't see that whole movie yet,
He's
but that's
pretty
not for this
he's pretty
episode.
thick in Black Widow.
I'm sorry, Shanti. Bring on the dad bod. Yeah, dad bod.
He
Dad
is dad
bod.
body, that's for sure. But he's like strong dad body. Like
Yes,
he
yes.
could go out and split wood for a while, it wouldn't bother him.
Yes, he's attractive in other ways, but the alcoholic brushing your teeth with beer, that's kind
Yeah,
of a
they
little
weren't
bit of
doing him his
a turn
best
off.
though. You
So,
got to give him that.
a little bit of a turn off.
But older Winona Ryder, I meant.
Yeah, so she's, and he tells her, call it a brief extrapolation.
That's Jess, I
That's
believe.
Jess. Yes, Jess. Yeah, so Hopper's like, call your ex-husband, maybe he knows where he is. Kids usually go there.
Right.
And he's like, 99% of the time they go to their dad's house. And she's like, what about the other 1%? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet you he's that 1%.
Yeah.
So and what do you know? He is the 1%.
And she does end up calling the ex, and like the douchebag girlfriend answers, and then she calls him on another phone, and she's like, "You're a teenager. Answer the phone." You're like, "Jeez, throwing shade."
Yes.
Something tells me I know how their relationship broke up.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So the kids go to school the next day, like, and Will's gone, and in classic fashion of kids that would have been D&D kind of kids, there's some jock kids that come up and give them a hard fucking time.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, fuck, this is always uncomfortable because I've been there.
Yeah. And they're asking Dustin to do the weird things like pulling his shoulders out of their joints. And it's like, oh, I was that kid. I had my teeth, but I could do funky things with my joints.
Oh, that thing about his teeth, man. They're coming in. It's all fucking bubble.
I think that's what he has in real life too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that a few years ago.
Well, he's probably got his teeth now.
I think so, but I think he had to have some surgeries and stuff too.
Oh, maybe.
Shanti would know. Shanti knows everything.
Yeah, Shanti's calling it out. Fuck bullies.
Yeah, fuck bullies. Fuck bullies. Yeah, so they go into school and blah blah blah, and like big sister Nancy, she's making out in the bathroom with
Steve,
the king of the popular kids, and
I'm unsure at this point how Nancy and Steve are even related to what, you know what I mean? Like, they're not somebody's older sibling, or
it's probably like one of the side stories. Like eventually they're gonna do it, and then Steve's gonna leave her, and she's gonna see him with another girl. But
she's gonna have the alien baby from the thing, or
you
something.
never know.
Yeah,
Maybe Steve is the Demigorgon. You never know.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. In any horror, though, you do need underage kids trying to get their freak on. It's kind of how
exactly. Every single horror movie you've ever seen, especially in the 70s and 80s, had teens drinking and screwing around.
Right. So then they show us back at the government facility, and there's like some scientists in like exposure suits and all that. They're going down looking, and there's some kind of strange growth on a door or something, and they start talking about how like the asset's gone or whatever, and they got to go find her.
Yeah. It looked like straight up Resident Evil shit,
Yeah,
like,
it really did.
Yeah, you got a flamethrower, that shit,
Yeah, you got to burn the whole thing down.
Yeah, definitely. And then, oh no, not yet. Wait, yeah. And then we're at with 11.
Yes,
we're in the diner.
Yep, where she's trying to find some scraps of food. So must be they weren't feeding her all that great.
Well, she went right for the fries,
Well, wouldn't you?
Yes.
let me know what girl isn't going to go for the fries.
Exactly.
And
absolutely.
or at least not order her own and then eat yours.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Let's see. Where the hell are we at? Yeah, so there's this guy runs this restaurant, and he's like trying to talk to 11, figure out who she is, why she's there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So in the next scenes, the boys are at school, and what seems to be their science teacher.
Yes.
Like takes them in the back room and shows them the cool ham radio.
Ham radio.
So I'm thinking like when I watched this, I was like, oh, this must have inspired the scenes at the beginning of Ghostbusters Afterlife when the kids are all at summer school.
Right.
And
that makes a lot of sense.
And that whole scene, I'm sitting there going, fuck, I watched this in another thing. What is it? Oh, Ghostbusters Afterlife. But it's like exactly the same setup.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, it is the same exact setup.
So I wonder if it was like an homage or it's just a coincidence and there's nothing to it. Let's see. After that, we get that conversation between 11 and the restaurant owner.
Yeah, he bribes her with food.
Yeah, he does.
Like
he gets their information.
Yeah.
But we find out later on the sly he calls CPS.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kind of makes sense. You've got this strange girl that barely talks, wandered into your restaurant. As an adult, you go, well, I better call CPS, and then when they get here, they'll get this sorted.
Especially when he sees a tattoo on a child.
Yep.
She says her name is 11, like
like something's going on.
Yeah.
After that, Hopper finds the kid's bike.
Will's bike.
He follows kind of a trail apparently through the woods to the kid's house.
Yeah.
Checks the kid's house. And then the dog kind of leads him to the shed in the back.
Yes.
where young Will was like trying to load a shotgun. I don't think it was a shotgun. It was more like a 22 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
low-powered
I
rifle.
don't know. I don't know my gun names, but yeah.
I don't either. I'm just thinking it looked like a low-powered rifle.
It definitely was a low-powered rifle.
The shells that he was putting in were not
Mhm.
very big.
Exactly. So
Um,
it's something that monster, something electrical. We know that it
yeah.
could make light bulbs freak out. It's something with electricity.
Mhm.
And I don't know. It didn't use the door. So either it can walk through walls or maybe it travels through the electricity. I have no idea yet, but
Mhm.
something's up with that weird ass monster.
Definitely. I'm not entirely sure either. And there's a point where Hopper is like shining a flashlight like kind of around like a bookcase, and there's some stuff
Yeah.
broken. So I'm not sure if there was they're implying that there was a scuffle, or
Mm-hmm.
if the imagery kind of alluded to something materializing in that space. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure.
But once again, the lights were flickering on and off.
Mhm.
So,
But the show really does seem to be telegraphing that whatever this thing is,
mhm.
it's not exactly following the rules of our universe
Yeah.
as we
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mikey wants to go searching, and his parents are like, no. You get
Mm-hmm.
that whole sibling rivalry thing that's going on between Mikey and his older sister.
Yeah.
He
Nancy's
busts
new
her out about the
boyfriend. And
boyfriend.
yeah. And mom's
Um,
like, no, until we find out what happened to your friend, everybody's on
right.
house arrest. And
You'd have to electrocute dad to get him to give a flying fuck.
yeah.
But
He's like, good chicken.
the 70s and 80s, like when the era that we grew up in, parents were super hands off by comparison to now. Like it was like
Mm-hmm.
home when the street lights come on, and you're like, I'm 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're like you're like 7 years old walking around
Mhm.
with a house key on your necklace,
Exactly.
hoping for the
Exactly.
best. You know how to get home, right?
Mhm.
Fuck off. I got stuff to do. It was a
Yeah.
weird time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're the latchkey kids,
Gen X.
right?
Mhm.
Um, let's see. So after that, Mike, I struggle to not call him Mikey because it's
Because
not
of Mikey.
it's not Goonies. Um, Mike kind of calls Lucas on these like enormous walkie-talkies from the 80s
Yeah.
that probably only have like a 50-foot range.
Right.
Like
Right.
they might have got them at the military supply, and
Mhm.
they're so these kids must live close by. Will's the only one. It appears that Will and Dustin seem to be the ones that live way out.
Mhm. Mhm. And the way that he got Lucas to agree to sneak out of their house and go searching with him was by saying, bringing up the Dungeons and Dragons game,
Mm-hmm.
saying that he opted to throw fireballs and sacrifice himself rather than protect himself. So he did this for the good of the group.
Right. Once
And
again,
then,
pointing to the kind of lawful good nature of Will.
yes,
Like
yes.
Will would look for us
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if Will was like a paladin, but that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
No, he would have cast fireball, so he would have had to been some kind of a mage, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
paladins can't cast fireball that I'm aware of.
Mages can, wizards
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
but
and
he didn't
and
have to go.
there was a character on the table that was a wizard.
Yeah.
So he was probably some kind of a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Because
Okay.
they kept saying, do the spell of protection.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did the fireballs. And
And anybody who's played Dungeons and Dragons knows that spell of protection ain't going to do shit. That thing is going to fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what level these guys were, but judging by the way that they were playing, they're not like level 17.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were they were shitting bricks.
Mhm.
So I figure they're probably like 12, level 12, 13. Like they got some shit that they can do, but they were not like, they were out of their league for sure.
Right, right. I thought it was really funny because when Mike snuck out of the house, he sees Nancy's boyfriend Steve sneaking into the house.
Yeah, and he just like
Kinda
shakes his head. He's
rolled
like,
his
you
eyes
piece
and
of
shook his
shit.
head.
My friend's missing and you're trying to bang my sister. I got nothing.
Yes. So it's like, okay, all
And
right.
you know that it's not, 2022 because,
Mhm.
dad's fucking ring system isn't lighting up on his phone going, there's some
Yeah,
dickhole trying to climb your house.
exactly.
Nowadays, like if I had teenage girls, I'd
Yeah.
have those ring cameras all over the place.
Oh, I bet.
I
I
would
bet.
I would know if somebody was coming by the place. I'd be like, hey, the ring went off last night. I saw fucking Captain Dipshit was here again.
Yeah,
Knock
yeah.
it off.
Oh, you know what we forgot to say? After back up to Hopper in the shed, we forgot to say that after he saw that shit in the shed, he actually took it seriously. He organized this
Oh
huge
yeah,
search
search party, yeah.
party, asked, every adult in the neighborhood to, like, we got to look for this kid. So now all of a sudden he's taking things seriously. I didn't see him pick up a drink for the rest of the show. So
Right.
we'll see there. But yeah, that's why the boys were sneaking out because they wanted to join the search party. So they
Yep.
started searching in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And Dustin's like, guys, it's raining. We should really go back home. They're like calling him a sissy and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
He was totally like, hey, we're out here. We know that something bad happened. We got no weapons.
yeah,
His
yeah.
teeth are just
He's like the chunk of the group,
he
he's
very
chunkier.
much is. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys.
So he's I'm gonna have to look. Oh, I remember it's an
Mhm.
alignment chart.
Ah, yes.
Let
You're
me
right.
let me
What
plug
is your
that in real
alignment?
quick. Chart. What do you think that what do you think that what's his name?
Um, there's Will, the kid that's missing.
Yeah,
There's Mike, who seems like the leader of the group.
right.
There's Dustin, who's
Dustin.
Dustin, yeah.
What do you think Dustin's alignment would be?
Um,
Being that he's a bit
he's a bit of
cowardly.
a weenie. I would say chaotic neutral. Because he's a bit of a weenie, but
Chaotic
he'll do the
neutral.
right thing if he has to.
Yeah, I agree. Follows whimsy, takes care
Yeah.
of themselves,
Hmm.
spontaneous, like a Jack Sparrow character.
Yeah. Yeah. But chaotic because he'll still sneak out of his house and,
But we don't know a shit ton about these kids yet. So that,
we only had one episode. You
but
guys all know, but we don't know.
my gut feeling is that
Mhm.
these kids all have a alignment. Somebody thought that out.
Yeah. Mike is probably the good one. He seems like the leader of the group.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he stays good though, because sometimes leaders, after
Right.
all the pressure, turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get the impression that Mike is our paladin.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's our guy that everybody rallies behind and does
Yeah.
what's right because it's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is willing to step in front
Mm-hmm.
when he has to.
And Lucas seems like he would be like the ranger. Like, I'll fight by your side, I'll defend everybody's honor. He
Uh-huh.
seems like that type.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be right.
We'll see.
Let's see, where are we at now? So the kids are out searching in the woods.
Yeah, they're out searching in the woods.
CPS shows up, but it's
Mhm.
not CPS.
Yes.
It's the government goons. And
Yes.
I mean, what an 80s trope. Like,
Uh-huh.
you call a government agency, but the fucking secret government goons, like, all swarm in
Yeah.
way before the government agency people can get there.
And
like, they are not fucking playing around. They shoot homeboy right
yeah.
quick.
Like, what? I'm
Didn't
like,
even
what
talk
the-
to him. Yep. Laid his ass out.
Yeah. And then they surround 11. Like, they have all the doors of the building surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
They're
And she
filing
manages to disappear
and
anyway.
she just disappears. Like, can she travel through the light too, or the electricity too, or
I have no
get
idea.
absorbed through walls? Like,
Yep. But she
so
definitely, like, ghosts him.
yeah, but it's the same thing that monster did. So
Yep.
like,
Yep. Well, they're I think the show is telegraphing that there's a correlation between those two things. They were both in the same facility,
yeah,
being researched probably in the same way. They may possibly be from the same dimension.
yeah. Bye, Shanti.
Oh, she's got to go.
She got to go.
Then the kids run into the call.
Yes.
The phone's ringing and Joyce answers the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like the whimpery, gurgly cry of what she describes as being definitely her son's voice.
Yeah, like breathing.
Yeah.
But moms know. So she's like her son. I believe her because moms know.
I would 100%, having raised a couple of children, I would know their voices even if they didn't get a word out, if it was just some sound.
Yeah. Just before she answered the phone, though, she's sitting there with Jonathan on the couch, and they're trying to find a picture of, a recent picture
to put
of
up
Will.
on like the posters and stuff.
And she was like all totally like, I feel him. He is close. I feel him. I feel him right here. I know he's close. And it's like, moms know. And then the phone rings, and I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
But then you heard that like,
yeah,
like
definitely the monster
noise. It's a monster noise.
So we're not supposed to know right now, but of course we all know that there's something known as the upside down.
I know about the upside
you know the term.
I know the term. I honestly might have seen like 10 minutes of 3 episodes in the past, however many years that this series has been out for. So
this is what my speculation is.
Yeah.
I believe that there is a version of this house in the upside down. That's probably like maybe a mirror image.
Right. Only it's evil instead of good.
And so he is, I'm assuming that Will is close. He's just in a different plane.
A dimension.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a dimension.
Right. So all these things feel Dungeons and Dragons-y, especially like you and me have played, and a lot of the people in the chat have played.
Yeah.
It feels like an authentic Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dragon Buddy Don's pretty smart sounding. We'll see.
So that only means that I'm not smart sounding, Dragon Buddy.
That is the crux of this show. Like we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna theorize what we think is coming, and the audience is in on the joke. A lot of you have already seen it.
I'm definitely looking forward to your podcast.
I think we're gonna have a good time.
You know what? I'll go one step further. You tell me which day you're gonna watch it on, and I will try to watch it on the same day as you.
Oh, okay. So we can be like, "Did you see this, bitch?"
I'll be like, "Holy shit! Did you finish it yet?"
It could be fun.
I do. Dragon Buddy says I have the crazy ability to avoid spoilers for everything. It's
You
because
do kind of dance underwater.
if it doesn't apply to me, I've got too many things that need to be up here. So if it doesn't apply to me, I just like whoosh it.
Right, the shit just bounces off.
Yeah, it just slides right. Be gone. But we forgot the final scene.
We didn't forget. We just didn't get there.
Oh, sorry.
Shout it out. You're ready.
Dude, so like they're walking through the forest, okay? We're back to the three boys again, the friends. And then it's pouring rain and pouring rain and pouring rain, and they're like deep in the forest and they hear something and they're like, what's that? And like I'm like, oh my gosh, is it the monster? You know, and like it's not. It's freaking 11 who is soaked to the bone and
Right.
a little shivery. And they're just like standing there and they all look like they're the same age, just staring at each other.
Right.
So like, and
was that the end of the episode?
I think that was the end of the episode.
Okay, because I think I actually accidentally watched like 4 minutes of episode 2, but we won't go there.
We won't go there. Don't go there. Not yet.
I was the second watch. I was like, oh, did I miss this at the end of the first watch? And,
yeah,
must have been the first few seconds of the next episode.
Netflix does that. If you don't answer Netflix in like 20 seconds, it just starts the next episode.
Right. So. It'll just go on without you.
Yeah. If you get up to go to the bathroom and come back without pausing it, you'd think it was the same episode. Right. Netflix don't care. It just keeps going.
No, it's like a honey badger.
Yeah, it'll ask you like in like 4 hours, like, are you still watching this? And like, I hate that because most of the time I hate yes.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'm hooked on it. I want to like it. I think I like it. Especially with those like all those member berries everywhere. Like
right. And I got into the Goldbergs for the same reason.
Oh, like, I love the Goldbergs.
Once the member berries started hitting,
great sitcom.
Yeah.
That was like when they were in the high school and Nancy's walking with her friend and I'm like and Chris is shouting out this chick's name that I don't know what her name is, but Chris is like blah 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 and I'm like Trapper Keepers and
right.
And Dragon Buddy's like, no, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, Trapper Keepers.
Yeah, let's talk about Trapper Keepers.
Trapper Keepers. Like, oh, man, I miss my Trapper Keeper.
100%.
Yeah.
I think we killed the first episode.
I think we did too, buddy. Thanks for inviting me on tonight.
Thanks for being the inaugural guest on this here podcast.
I loved it.
I think I had fun. We'll definitely have to have you back on.
I would love that.
Another time.
I would absolutely love that.
I kind of want to bring guests on as people want to. But I don't want to rely on a guest. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd like to be able to be like, hey, anybody want to come on and talk about this? And then, maybe we'll even, we've got all these Red 5 friends. Maybe we'll even meet a few other friends that are like, look, this show is life. And I want to come talk about it. We will meet some new friends that way too.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like fun.
Right. As I mentioned before, this is going to come out probably once a weekish, but next time it will be on the Stranger Things Has Happened YouTube page. So, like I said, go to bio.link /strangerthhpod and click on YouTube, go to the YouTube page and subscribe. And next time you'll get, make sure you turn on the notification bell and you should get notification next time we're going to do this.
Definitely. I'm in. I'm all in.
Nice.
I will go on this journey with you.
I'm really excited about riding this thing out. So,
And I like it that you're only doing one episode a week, because if you would have said, Kelly, we're doing like half a season a week, and I'm like, have fun.
No, it's too much. It's too much.
It's too much for me.
Digestible bites, and we can appreciate things as they come, as the story was intended, as opposed to binging and not catching things.
Yeah, totally.
Or digesting things the way they wanted us to.
Totally. I agree with you.
So let's head out. I'm gonna throw up the thing. We're gonna do some music. Let's say goodbye.
Bye, friends. Thanks for coming, everybody. It was good seeing everybody in the chat.
Yeah. And this is not officially a Red 5 Network podcast. Hopefully one day it will be. But even if it does not become, I will not stop repping Red 5, because that's the place to be.
bio.link/Red5. Go check it out. We now have 39 podcasts.
39.
39.
That's so insane.
I know, right? It's awesome.
All right. Say goodbye.
Bye, friends.
The hell? Haha.
I think we're still live.
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.